morning, everyone. Good morning, Callum.
Hello.
Another episode of umbraCoffee, episode number 222. Oh,
Damn.
time
Two
flies.
two two.
Time flies. 222.
I was thinking earlier this week. We're coming up to 5 years of this. 5 whole years.
Again, another opportunity for a great anniversary. Some cakes, muffins, or whatever else. But yeah, time flies, and this is happening really. But it's good to be here. Morning all, morning everyone, and thanks for being with us today. Of course, not without technical difficulties as on every Friday on my side, because my machine probably knows that I'm going live on YouTube. And before then, everything was fine. But when we are just jumping on the stream here, everything is go wrong. Plus, my builders here on the building are testing the fire alarms today, and turning on and off electricity all day. So if I will be gone, that's completely fine. That's completely normal.
You'll notice a couple of weeks back in the umbraCoffee episode, maybe with Jerome, my fire alarm went off as well. We just delay each episode by 5 minutes to build anticipation margin. The computer just wants to build up some of the umbraCoffee hype.
And right now we are just talking about everything because I'm scared to share my screen, because when I did it before we got live, everything went down. So yeah, maybe in the meantime, tell us how was your week, people. We've been just discussing that because it was shorter due to the holiday breaks. We were trying to squeeze more in the shorter amount of time, and usually it was like a business crazy busy week as every probably previous one. But yeah, we are getting there. And of course, in our community, there is a lot of things happening, and we can start from creating more pressure, more understanding of where we are in calendar time. And my shirt right now, I'm probably getting frozen. Yep.
Yeah, you are. I think, Marcin, maybe I'll share my screen today. How about that? Should we work like this? Because I just don't think
you can try that.
It's gonna work really
and I can stop sharing my screen.
I don't have any of the links open, so give me a little second. But yeah, we can start with. In fact, a friendly viewer.
But yeah,
a friendly viewer reached out to me this week saying, "I hear you've been mentioning on umbraCoffee the Is It Code Garden Yet website quite a lot." And of course, up until yesterday, the Is It Code Garden Yet website actually showed nothing. It said there was no code garden, but our friendly viewer has updated it. Code garden's in 53 days. It was 2 months last Friday. 2 months last Friday was the start of Code Garden. So Code Garden is happening according to Is It Code Garden Yet. It's coming 53 days away, which is awesome. And today's really important because it is only 11 hours remaining for you to get your early bird Code Garden ticket. That's to save €200 on your ticket. Totally worth doing. So go and secure your spot now. And that's for the
we were talking about. Yes, exactly. That's what I wanted to mention, because we were talking with a lot of people, and they were, I believe, in most of the Umbraco talks right now, the Code Garden became a checkpoint in the calendar time, and everyone who wants to attend in person and help organizers organize it, usually as it is, secure your spots as early as possible, plus save money. That's normal thing. And 11 hours. I didn't realize that time flies that fast, but we know more about the event, and that's what we want to talk about next, because the speakers list was updated, right? And
indeed, we have a full list. I think it's a full list now of all of the community applicants and also all of the professional speakers and the HQ speakers who'll be presenting. And I mean, it's not very visible, but if you dive into, say, my profile, you can actually see the session that has been proposed by people as well. Apparently, there you go. Yeah, you can. So you can start to get a sense of the topics. I mentioned on Twitter there is no less than 4 DXP topics. 4 DXP topics, about 10% of talks on DXP, which is interesting. A nice good mix. Also, really great to see some members of the community that we've maybe not seen before, and people from some big organizations like Google, Spotify, etc. This talk particularly interests me. Jez is from the Philippines, and I didn't know of any community members from the Philippines just yet. So that's really cool to see. someone coming over to do that talk. We've got some really great sounding speakers there.
Again, I remember the ideas of meetups on Mauritius, and if there will be any more in Philippines, again, that's a great opportunity for the community to gather.
There was talks of like a Nepal umbraco festival, which I think sounds amazing. I'd happily be there. There was talks of some Indian events as well. Yeah, there's a big community out there, and it's great to start seeing people represented at Code Garden in Denmark.
And coming back to program, I think this is the part of the preparation as well to find out if we can attend specific talks, find some interesting ones for us. And as you've mentioned, DXP was and still is an interesting topic for many. So that's why a lot of talks like this will definitely catch some attention from the viewers and attendants. And a great mixture, again, a great mixture of talks between technical and between business. So definitely everyone will find something interesting for them, and it's out there. Another thing is exactly the pre-party. So
this is one of my highlights every year.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And fishing around in those big buckets of ice to see if you can find the beers that you sent, or find something that's not strange, not one of the umbraCola bottles that I think have been knocking around for about 10 years now. But yeah, they're opening for pull requests for drinks, and they've announced the time and the details of the pre-party, which they've said is soccer or soccer themed.
So yeah, maybe national t-shirts or national clubs t-shirts or jerseys and everything like that, like theme might be interesting. Again, there was some Umbraco ones as well in the past, so there is a chance that some people will wear them. But as a drink pull request participant for a couple of years, I think it's a really interesting, especially to get some really nice interactions and discussions between people from different parts of the world, because they were advertising their drinks, their sodas, the specifics from the different areas of the world, and I think that brings a really nice introduction for networking and discussions, and if that can be used for breaking some bridges between people and making some new friends, I really like it. So that's definitely something to participate in.
And it always like meetup groups over here often try and send something
boxes,
which is quite nice. So you'd send like the London meetup will send some London beers, or the Bristol meetup will send something from around there as well. It's just brings a little bit more culture to the event, doesn't it?
Exactly. And yeah, and according to outside of the culture things, we'll definitely talk tech about there, and there is a lot of things happening in the Umbraco releases, and we can start from 9.5 release candidate that is out now, with improved two-factor authentication support, many of other fixes. I can't remember the exact number of them, but a lot
2FA,
of them.
new cache, custom error page handling. So it's kind of more aligned with the way .NET does things itself. There's the moving dictionary things, which was the PR of the week a couple of weeks back. There's just a bunch of general improvements, a whole heap of features. And I was having a chat with Runa this morning. I was asking, hey, where is the blog post announcing this? Because we normally get a release candidate blog post. There is not one, and they've now kind of updated the release notes here, which is, I think, quite a nice idea, having more detailed release notes with screenshots. So we'll have a link down below for you to go check that out, go play with 9.5, which maybe someone in the chat can comment, but is this the last version of 9? I think it is.
Yeah, I think that also relates to something what we received from another friend from the community, some PRs coming to the source code, and one of them was kind of indirectly marked as the last one targeting 9.5, and there is right now the movement internally to target version 10.
I was going to say, actually, this week the default branch for the CMS repo did change from 9 to 10. I think it happened on Tuesday or Wednesday this week. So yes, it's happening. It's happening. V10 is coming, and people are going to start contributing to that, I guess. I asked Philip a few weeks ago, when's the best time to try and propose a breaking change for a major release? And he said maybe within like the first, probably 2 iterations of the the previous version, so 9.1 and 9.2, and then there's probably a cutoff, and at that point, those breaking changes get considered for the next release. So yeah, V10's already happening, but probably it's too late now to start making some big sweeping breaking changes, and instead they've got a plan that they're executing. And
yeah, but I was scanning through some PRs in the recent history, and I'm always surprised how much people can learn from just discussions, and also some people submitted an ideas or just contributed in the discussion. Then we Umbraco developers discussed about non-breaking changes and also non-breaking overloads of methods that can be used by package creators, and there is a lot of discussions like this. So there is a lot of care placed into non-breaking things, to be honest, but also enhancing the logic, because of course some changes are required, but backwards compatibility is also essential. So here all of them were merged without introducing the breaking change, but with introducing some cool new features and enhancements for the pathster. So yeah, at least last minor will have a lot of interesting features, but the rest will follow, and still we're in the path of maybe more friendly upgrades as well between majors. And that's exactly something we shouldn't be scared about anymore, in my opinion.
There was one other pull request which was brought to my attention. I didn't know about this at all. This is quite interesting. So there is now an analytics dashboard in the settings section of the CMS. Of course, I think 9.2 or 9.3 brought about a bunch of new telemetry changes. So that's allowing packages to request telemetry, and those then get sent to Umbraco servers. It's going to become really helpful when the new package library launches. But in 9.5, there is now this consent dashboard where you can opt in to say what level of telemetry you want to send. So it's easily manageable directly within the CMS. This is a really cool addition.
Yeah, and generally the normal modern way of kind of reacting to how people really uses the tool. So I believe right now having bigger teams in Umbraco plus bigger attention on specific areas of the CMS will result in very good and tailored enhancements also for the use cases of people just maybe getting familiar or getting lost in the back office sometimes, right? So data are always helpful. That's the thing, and measurements can just increase the specifics of the product for its users. So I'm really looking forward for some findings and also summaries of this analytics processes from the Umbraco perspective.
Indeed, me too. We did have some other releases this week, some fantastic looking ones, in fact, including one from Mr. Lee Kelleher, of course, the man, the myth, the machine. Contentment v3.3 introduces a preview mode for the blocks, content blocks editor, which is like I think kind of like the blocklist editor, but before blocklist editor. I haven't played with that too much. And then some additional options for the text input field, being able to have an icon next to it, and then a bunch of fixes as well, and improvements. It's, as always, a very, very thorough and fantastic release. So well done, Lee.
Indeed.
We had a new Examine version, of course. Great to see Shannon still active in the community, despite now not working at Umbraco HQ anymore. But Benjamin Kaleski has made a pull request to Examine to expose some more configuration options for when you're wanting to configure. I think it's like the multi-field analyzer.
It's and also per field options, right?
Exactly.
So more control over it.
Exactly. So we can have a lot more flexibility, which is great. When I've been building some of my packages on top of Examine, I've hit this as a kind of limitation problem as well, wanting to be able to get at some of the things that loosescene.net gives us, but the Examine APIs just don't allow you to do. So fantastic job there, Benjamin. And this week I made several pull requests to the Skybrid redirect package to get it working a bit better on V9. So there was a V1 301 and a 302, which fixes the saving some things in the back office, and also the service layer. And Anders also released. Go on then. I'll talk about this.
Essentials.
This is a feature that should just be in .NET, right? This is. I know it's showing a big block of code here, right? But it's a split method that has out parameters. So you can say split, and I want to have an out parameter for what's before and what's after, which is beautiful when you see it in practice, because here is where Anders has actually changed this. I know he's moved it. It's going to take me a little while to find it, but it just makes the code so much cleaner than having all these array indexes and stuff to go and find bits of a string, and you have to null check them all. And this extension method does it. So I asked him, please put this in the Skybird Essentials package, and we both concurred that yes, it probably should be a .NET feature. So nice work there.
And again, there is a lot of essentials out there that are very helpful and handy for many use cases. And we've been talking about this usage of Skybird's essentials across the projects and packages. But I also advocated a lot in the past to use it just for some of the even libraries, because it's such a abstraction over some complex common operations, and that is very helpful. And I'm always glad for Anders and for the team for sharing it, because it's always a source of some shortcuts for the use cases like this. And this split method looks amazing. I didn't see it, to be honest.
Yeah, and he had another one that did was like a constructor something. He's got a few really helpful things in there that, like I say, should just be part of .NET actually. So yes.
But kudos Callum for contributions then, and making the redirects better.
I was tearing my hair out about why some redirects weren't working on one of our client projects, and found someone had raised an issue for it. So I went down a bit of a rabbit hole, found out why it was happening, put a fix in, gave some other suggestions about how we could improve it as well. And it's out and it is working great.
Nice.
So, also thanks to Anders for he merged them so quickly, like within an hour of the first one and within 12 hours of the second pull request, they were merged and on NuGet, which is awesome.
Crazy. But yeah, good stuff. The next topic is another celebration, and a big celebration. 7th birthday of Script magazine, and the whole idea, 7 years. That's a lot, and I wasn't aware that it wasn't. It feels like a Script was always there. That's the thing.
And we were just saying at the start of this, Marcin, how umbraCoffee's been around 4.5 years.
Yeah.
But does that mean that Script had only been around 2.5 years at the point we started? Because it feels, as you say, it feels like Script has been around way longer.
Exactly.
Way longer. It doesn't feel like 5 years we've been doing this, let alone 7 years of Script. But yeah, it's fantastic work. And as they've said here, 82 issues, 166 articles, and 101 different authors across those issues, which is truly incredible. Lots of work. I know on that they've still got their little leaderboard of who's contributed most authors. Let's have a look. One article, I think. Yeah, Anders Björner with his 7 articles, I think, might still be leading the pack.
Yeah. But there were some there were some new series from various people that might join the competition for the most contributing authors. But still, it's like one of the main sources of information and knowledge that is still keeping the high quality and also high activity. And it's always good to read articles from Script and be on top of whatever is happening. And as a team from umbraCoffee, we are always grateful also for promoting various activities and our links out there as well.
It makes that Script monthly newsletter makes our life so much easier the week that comes out, because we just go to there, take all the links off there. It's perfect.
Indeed. So yeah, celebrate and give a big round of applause for Script team. And also Script is on Patreon. Everyone can support the initiative as well, and we always encourage people to support community activities like this. And yeah, another community activity to talk about.
Indeed, this is the Umbraco Lab session, which was live streamed yesterday, which I'm super happy about, because I just still refuse to join the Discord server. But it was live streamed, and it was Paul Seal, Paul requested upgrading his smaller images package from V8.0 to V9, and kind of talking through that process, which is nice and interesting. There's obviously some lessons learned that I've not watched this video, but it's a good hour of chat, and there's all the community activity there too. So it's good to see this starting to be streamed on YouTube.
Makes and again, 95 views already so far.
We just don't have the same leverage as Umbraco HQ much.
That's true, but also it means it reminds me all of the Twitch streams from back in the days when I watched them or heard them just with one ear, and it seems like something what might stay for longer. Exactly, because I observed some of this live stream after all, and it's like interesting walk through how to deal with problems, and I think it will be extremely helpful for people who are starting their journey with Umbraco to find out where to look for information. Warren was very supportive there, and I think this collaboration between people is really nice to see. So yeah, it's good to see it on YouTube as you've mentioned, because always it will be another entry point for everyone who will be looking for some Umbraco content.
Indeed, it will. Indeed, it will. Good to see I'm getting abused in the chat. Thanks, everyone. I still refuse to join Discord. Still refuse.
You need to join the crypto world more. Then you will be need to force to be on Discord to
or be a gamer or whatever else is involved.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah. So Philip was when he was over in London a couple of weeks ago. He took part in a podcast or a chat with Magic Click and their Tech Talks series. So there's an episode where he's talking about the future of CMS and DXP and how all that fits into Umbraco's vision. It was quite interesting. I had listened to it yesterday, actually. So yeah, go give that a listen if that sounds interesting. There's a link down below.
And we need to achieve the quality of this kind of podcast for
I
some
mean,
of
look at that. They had lights and everything. They
multiple cameras, microphones, portable microphones, quality. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, that 5 minutes late start today, Marcin, would be 50 minutes if we had that sort of equipment.
or dozens of people taking care of it for us somewhere behind the scenes. That would
we need to get an intern or something, Marcin, to help us.
I have an offering right now from my hometown from people who are renting the equipment for the cameras and lighting, etc. So maybe when I will move out and move back to my hometown again, there will be a chance for it. So fingers crossed. But until then, it will be raw and very direct.
Like this. It's plug and play. We just turn up and
exactly. So yeah.
A couple other just quick bits of news from this week. Another fantastic blog post from Cornet. He's written about using New Marketing Suite with CookieBot and tracking consent in New Marketing Suite that way. Looks really cool and actually surprisingly straightforward and simple. Really nice code samples here. So high five Europe to Cornet. There is a webinar. Marcin, do you know anything about this? Because I believe it's your team.
That's a spin-up of our teams and a completely extended product that offers a really nice low code, I would say, opportunity to collaborate and gather the data from various different sources and expose it as a headless APIs driven data point, basically. And we use it internally. We use it for Sidecore, Umbraco, and various other CMSs as well. So it's interesting to see what is possible with it. And Enderspeed is very close with Umbraco teams. So that's also they will be having a talk on Code Garden. But if anyone is interested, what can be done with it? I really like the way how the product works, and as a kind of middleware between multiple CMSs, it's a very interesting to check out. So if you have time, just join the free webinar with Umbraco and Enderspeed today.
Very cool.
And there is a special guest from Carlsberg Group as well, from what I know. Yeah.
Nice.
So they will talk about how they use it.
That's in 2 hours then. It's 3 p.m. European, 2 p.m. UK time.
Damn it.
Not long
really
to
close.
So yeah, link down below to go have a look at that one. Cool. And we have one final thing, which is I titled this episode today "Bang Bang Gone," which for two reasons. Firstly, if you don't get your Code Garden early bird tickets, they'll be gone. So go and get them. But secondly, for those that I don't know how many people in the Umbraco community would keep up to date with this, but those that don't know, C# and the language is actually all designed in public. There's no secrets or hidden surprise things. They are all done on GitHub. You can give your feedback to features, and they regularly release updates to what they're doing with the language, which is interesting. We discussed a few weeks back that they introduced this bang bang operator, double exclamation point, which where's it gone? Is hiding. I'll just use the jump list here. It's parameter null checking. So you're able to say for my, my parameter in my method, this has to be required, and you need to throw an argument null exception if it's not got a value. And you could just go exclamation point, exclamation point. Interestingly, the community did not like this very much at all, and they said this just doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel like the rest of the C# language. We don't think this is a good fit. And so Microsoft have actually listened, and they've removed it. They've decided, yeah, we agree with you. This isn't the direction we want to be going in. And so they've removed the bang bang operator. So as I say, bang bang gone. But the rest of the update in this blog post, again, link down below, is really interesting, just showing you some of the improvements they're making, some issues that I hadn't considered were an issue, but that they're trying to solve, like basically having multi-line string literals here. So you can then do this triple quotation marks to have a multi-line string, and then have your string literals inside, which is
but again, if you're using ReSharp or any enhancements on Visual Studio or other tools, it was handled for you, so you might not expose it or feel it. But again, I think it's worth to get back to the removal process, because I saw a lot of tweets with appreciation that, it's not that easy to remove something from the programming language.
No, it's really not, and especially they do
huge decision.
They have backwards compatibility issues as well. Once it's in a version, they have to support that and make the language backwards compatible. So yeah, it's good to see those things ironed out now. Microsoft actually listening to the community, and it seems, judging by Twitter, a lot of the people that work on .NET, David Fowler and Mads Torgersen, were all saying, actually, yeah, this is for the best. I'm glad that the community said this. Links down below. Go have a look. It's quite interesting.
But I think also it can relate to the tabs discussion, for example, in Umbraco community. It was the same kind of listening process, and also the lesson for all of us that really, if something bothers users and feels like missing or feels like needed, it's just kind of really relying on the voices and collaborating more between the real users and the creators, even if it's a programming language. What was completely crazy for me, and it's crazy to still think about it, that something like this needs to be can be decreased or increased inside of the versions. So yeah, we can contribute. And I when I was doing one of the talks about open source contributions, I linked the repositories from C# language, and they're extremely active. There's a lot of really people who are caring about how C# looks, how C# evolves. A lot of TypeScript people who are there as well, introducing their functional and another crazy ideas to C# language. So yeah, we can all contribute, and it's not only about being happy or not happy with using specific language, because in C# we can really shape it on our own.
Yeah, we can. Indeed.
So that's all from our list, right? For today. That was really a really packed and quick list of updates until we missed something, what we could do. so tell us if there was anything else on your side. Use 9.5 RC and find anything what can be improved and broken. Plus, subscribe us as well.
I noticed that somebody had liked this week's episode before we'd even gone live, which I think is a great tactic. So if we just schedule all of the next 10 episodes, we will just go and like them and upvote them as well. That'd be great.
Because every like and every subscribe helps us reach more people on YouTube. That's how YouTube works. So if you are not liking this episode yet, like it and subscribe, and yeah, join us for another umbraCoffee on next Friday.
Yeah. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, have a good weekend, everyone. Thanks for being with us today, and yeah, see you soon.